If you're coming to the party with me, make sure you leave early because I don't want my friends to know about you, she said, as if I meant nothing to her. I calmly replied, no problem at all. After that, she kept looking for me, wondering where I had gone. I'm 26, work in digital marketing, and until 3 months ago, I thought I'd found someone who actually saw me. Her name was Isabel. We met at a coffee shop where she spilled half her latte on my laptop bag, apologized profusely, and insisted on buying me another drink. That was 8 months ago. What started as something that felt real slowly morphed into something I couldn't quite name. Isabel was beautiful in that effortless way that made people turn their heads. She had this confidence that I admired, this way of moving through the world like she owned every room she walked into. I was more reserved, the type who preferred small gatherings to big parties, meaningful conversations over surface-level networking. We were different, but I thought that was okay. I thought we balanced each other out. The first few months were good. Great, even. We'd stay up late talking about everything and nothing, cook terrible meals together in my tiny kitchen, spend Sundays wandering through bookstores and art galleries. She introduced me to her roommate, Lauren, who seemed nice enough. But when I asked about meeting her other friends, she'd always have an excuse. They were busy. The timing wasn't right. She wanted to keep things just between us for a little while longer. I didn't push it. I figured she'd introduce me when she was ready. Then came the party. It was a Thursday evening when she mentioned it, casually, while scrolling through her phone on my couch. There's this thing on Saturday. A birthday party for one of my college friends. You can come if you want. I looked up from my laptop. Yeah? I'd love to. She didn't look at me when she said it. Cool. Just, if you're coming with me, make sure you leave early because I don't want my friends to know about you. The room went quiet except for the hum of my refrigerator. I stared at her, waiting for the punchline, for her to laugh and say she was kidding. She didn't. What do you mean? I asked, keeping my voice steady. She shrugged, still looking at her phone. It's just easier that way. They ask a lot of questions, and I don't want to deal with it right now. So if you come, just leave before things get too crowded. No big deal. No big deal. As if she hadn't just told me I was something to be hidden. As if the past 8 months meant nothing. I closed my laptop slowly. No problem at all. She finally looked up, and maybe she caught something in my tone because her expression shifted slightly. You're not mad, are you? Not at all, I said, smiling. I'll come to the party. And I'll leave early. Exactly like you asked. She seemed satisfied with that, and went back to her phone. I went back to staring at my screen, but I wasn't seeing anything. My mind was already working. Saturday came. Isabel spent an hour getting ready in my bathroom, asking me 3 times if her outfit looked okay. I told her she looked perfect every time. We took an Uber to the party, a sleek loft apartment in a neighborhood where rent cost more than my monthly salary. The place was already filling up when we arrived. Music thumping through expensive speakers, people clustered in groups with drinks in hand. Isabel transformed the moment we walked through the door. Her posture straightened, her smile became brighter, more performative. She immediately spotted someone across the room and squeezed my arm. I'll be right back, she said, already moving away. I wandered to the kitchen, grabbed a beer from an ice bucket, and observed. I watched Isabel work the room, hugging people, laughing at jokes, taking selfies. She looked happy. She looked like she belonged. And she looked like someone who came alone. An hour passed. Then 2. She'd glance over occasionally, offer a small smile, but never approached me. Never introduced me to anyone. I was a ghost at my own girlfriend's friend's party. Around 10:30, I set my empty bottle on the counter and left. No goodbye, no announcement. Just walked out the door and called an Uber. My phone stayed silent for 45 minutes. Then it started. Isabel, where did you go? Isabel, did you leave? Isabel, hello? I didn't respond. I was already home, sitting on my couch with a whiskey, thinking about how I'd spent 8 months with someone who treated me like a secret. She called 3 times. I let it go to voicemail each time. At midnight, my door buzzed. I knew it was her before I checked the video intercom. She looked annoyed, arms crossed, shifting her weight from foot to foot. I didn't buzz her up immediately. Let her stand there for a minute, wondering if I would. Then I pressed the button. When I opened my apartment door, she was already coming down the hallway, heels clicking against the floor. What the hell was that? She demanded. You told me to leave early, I said calmly. I left early. I meant later, not in the middle of the party. People saw you just disappear. I thought you didn't want people to know about me. She stopped just inside my doorway, her expression flickering between anger and something else, confusion maybe. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean, Isabel? Explain it to me. She sighed, like I was being difficult. I just wanted to enjoy the party without having to explain our whole situation to everyone. Is that so wrong? What situation? We've been together for 8 months. What is there to explain? It's complicated. How is it complicated? She looked away, toward my bookshelf, my kitchen, anywhere but at me. My friends have expectations. They knew about my ex, and comparing you to him would just be awkward. There it was. The truth she'd been dancing around for months. So I don't measure up? I said. That's not what I said. But it's what you meant. You're twisting my words. I stepped back, putting space between us. I'm not twisting anything. You brought me to a party and told me to leave before anyone could know I was with you. You've been hiding me for months, and tonight just made it obvious. I'm done pretending that's normal. Her eyes widened slightly. Done? What does that mean? It means I'm not going to be your secret anymore. It means if you can't introduce me to your friends, if you're embarrassed by me, then maybe you should find someone who fits better into your life. I'm not embarrassed by you, she said, but her voice lacked conviction. Then why haven't I met any of your friends? Why did you tell me to leave tonight? Why do you act like a different person when we're alone versus when we're around anyone from your old life? She didn't have an answer. Or she did, but she wasn't willing to say it out loud. The silence stretched between us, heavy and uncomfortable. Finally, she grabbed her purse from where she dropped it by the door. Fine. If that's how you feel, then maybe we should take a break. A break? I almost laughed. No, Isabel. We're not taking a break. We're done. She stared at me like I'd slapped her. You're breaking up with me because I didn't parade you around at a party? I'm breaking up with you because you treated me like I was disposable. Like I didn't matter. That's not fair. Maybe not. But it's true. She stood there for another moment, waiting for me to take it back, to soften, to be the understanding boyfriend who'd been letting her get away with this for months. When I didn't, she turned and walked out, slamming the door behind her. Update 1. The next week was quiet. Too quiet. No texts, no calls, nothing. I threw myself into work, picked up extra projects, stayed late at the office. My friends noticed something was off, but I kept it vague. We broke up, was all I offered, and they were smart enough not to push. 2 weeks after the party, Lauren texted me. Isabel's roommate. We'd exchanged numbers months ago when I was at their apartment and needed the Wi-Fi password. Lauren. Hey, can we talk? It's about Isabel. I stared at the message for a long time before responding. Me, what about her? Lauren. She's been miserable. Won't leave her room. Hasn't been eating properly. I think she realizes she messed up. Me. That's not my problem anymore. Lauren, I know. And I'm not asking you to take her back. But I think you should know something. Her ex, the one she mentioned, he did a number on her. Told her she wasn't good enough, that her friends wouldn't approve of her, made her feel like she had to prove herself constantly. I think that's why she acted the way she did with you. She was scared. I set my phone down and walked to the kitchen, poured myself water, drank it slowly. Fear was an explanation, not an excuse. We all had baggage. We all had reasons for the walls we built. But at some point, you had to decide whether to tear those walls down or stay trapped behind them. Me. I appreciate you telling me. But she never explained any of that to me. She just made me feel like I wasn't enough. Lauren, I know. You deserve better. I just wanted you to understand where she was coming from. Me. Thanks, Lauren. I thought that would be the end of it. But 3 days later, I ran into Isabel at the grocery store. Of all the places, of all the times. She was in the produce section, staring at avocados like they held the secrets of the universe. I could have turned around, grabbed my stuff from another aisle, avoided the whole thing. But I didn't. Hey, I said. She looked up, startled, and for a moment, I saw something raw in her expression. Regret, maybe. Hey. We stood there awkwardly, shopping baskets between us like shields. How have you been? She asked. Fine. You. Not great. She set down the avocado she'd been holding. I've been thinking a lot about what you said. About how I treated you. Okay. You were right. I was hiding you. Not because you weren't good enough, but because I was scared my friends would judge me for dating someone different from my ex, someone quieter, less flashy. And that was unfair to you. I waited. My ex made me feel like I had to maintain this image, like I had to date a certain type of person to be accepted. And even after we broke up, I was still living like he was in my head, telling me what to do. When I met you, You were everything he wasn't. Kind, genuine, present. And instead of appreciating that, I panicked. I thought if my friends saw us together, they'd see me as less than what I was supposed to be. That's a lot to unpack, Isabel. I know, and I'm working on it. I started seeing a therapist. Lauren convinced me. That's good. I'm glad you're getting help. She looked at me hopefully. Do you think we could try again? I promise I'll do better. I took a breath, chose my words carefully. I don't think so. What you did hurt me more than you realize. And even though I understand where you were coming from now, I can't go back to being with someone who sees me as a risk to their reputation. I deserve someone who's proud to be with me, who doesn't need to think twice about introducing me to their friends. Her eyes filled with tears, but she nodded. You do deserve that. And I'm sorry I couldn't give it to you. I hope you figure things out, Isabel. I really do. Thank you, she whispered. For everything. We stood there for another moment, and then she turned and walked away, leaving her basket behind. I finished my shopping, drove home, and felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Relief. Not happiness, not satisfaction, just a simple, clean relief. Like I'd been carrying something heavy for months and finally set it down. Update 2. A month later, I was at a friend's barbecue when I met Adrienne. She was funny, sharp, asked me about my work, and actually listened to my answers. When her friends came over to grab drinks, she immediately introduced me, casually, like it was the most natural thing in the world. This is Cole, she said, smiling. We just met, but he's already 10 times more interesting than most people here. Her friends laughed, welcomed me into their conversation, and I realized something profound. Being with someone who wasn't ashamed of you felt completely different. It felt like breathing. I don't know if anything will happen with Adrienne. Maybe we'll go on a date, maybe we won't. But standing there at that barbecue, beer in hand, sun warm on my face, I knew I'd made the right choice. Isabel texted me once more, about 2 months after the grocery store. A simple message, I'm doing better. I hope you are too. I responded, I am. Take care of yourself. And that was it. No closure speech, no dramatic final conversation. Just 2 people who weren't right for each other, moving forward in different directions. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away from someone who doesn't value you. Not out of anger or revenge, but out of respect for yourself. Because you can't force someone to see your worth. You can only decide that you won't settle for being treated like a secret. I told her to leave early if she wanted to hide me. So I left, and I never looked back.